I just premiered a short film a couple of weeks ago, and we sold out the theater. We had a great audience. And I have had this experience many times because I have made a bunch of short films. I've made a couple of feature films. When you get to that stage, it's kind of like, well, what do I go and do with it? What is even the point of what I'm doing? And so I wanted to make a video about this because I have not had that experience this time around, as I have approached it a little bit differently. To be honest, YouTube is part of that, like short films and content and projects. I just see the value in it because really, as filmmakers or storytellers, artists, creatives, we have to try and connect with an audience and find the people who want to support the work that we make. Now, this film that I did, it's like an experimental short film, and I have a few others that are kind of in this series that I'm doing as part of it. So why not try and make it into a feature film? I've done a feature film before, and that's very aspirational for a lot of filmmakers. So if it feels like a step backwards, like why would I take that step? And I think that the answer is more complicated, which is just there's no real model for what can succeed in 2026 and going forward. If you're an artist, I think you gotta be at least considering how you can approach this stuff as a creator. You wanna make real art. Like, of course, it's still a huge business. There's so many avenues that you can make a career, whether you're a cinematographer, a sound mixer, a video editor, someone working in post-production or 3D, previs. Now, honestly, so many tools in AI, like there's a huge demand for content, and that's never gonna go away. But for actual films, like the art form of these kind of self-contained sort of stories or novellas within these kind of fixed formats, that is changing. People really do not go to the theaters to see that much. And for that matter, like filmmakers are wondering about film festivals and where they should submit their film and how they can, try and distribute their film and, sell their film. And I think that my experience, even having worked on some, projects that have been kind of financially successful, what I have seen is that really the only way that happens is if you take accountability for that and you do it yourself. So this is kind of a circuitous way of saying, like, the reason that I'm still making short films is because, like, they have a purpose in the kind of work that I'm putting out. If you're new to the channel, my name is Remsy Atassi. I'm a filmmaker and artist, and I make videos on YouTube about the art, the science, and the creativity of filmmaking. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. Of the question of the feature film, I mean, you gotta ask yourself, how many feature films do you even watch? Like, most people are not even consuming this stuff because our attention spans are so fractured. I'm a film lover and I would consider myself a cinephile, but even still, it's hard with, a busy life to make time to do this stuff. Like, our lives are so fast right now, and it is hard to slow things down. So even more so for your independent project, how do you bring someone to check it out? As I have done feature films, what I have seen is you really have to have an audience that you bring to the project. If you want to be a filmmaker now, you got to find a way to build that audience. Now, you don't have to do it, by doing social media. There's a lot of different ways that you can make it happen, but you have to find a way to just like communicate with people because you're a storyteller. That's what we're here to do. Even if you're making more experimental stuff, like you can't be relying on some discovery engine. You can't be relying on going to a film festival or even a distributor, finding your film and getting it out there. All you hear are horror stories from people. Now, if you have studio backing, that gives you, a marketing arm that is already built into what you're doing. So that's completely different. But for most people who are waiting for that, call or that knock on the door that they're gonna be able to go and make some project for millions of dollars, it's not gonna happen. And for you to go and string together private funding for it is also extremely difficult. So the reality is with feature films, you've really gotta be bringing something to somewhat of a built-in audience. And this is why the studios chase IP. And even for me, as I'm like developing some new projects in the near future, you gotta think about what's either a built-in audience or the right kind of project that has people who already wanna have their eyeballs on it. So putting together a screening like this where you can bring people together in person is always going to be a beneficial thing for your projects. So make short films and curate the audience, bring people out and try and make an impact, just reach people on a one-on-one level with your work, because that's more meaningful in a lot of ways than being able to just put endless clips online. The reality of the modern world is you kind of got to do both. But for me, I really enjoyed putting this together, and it was a fun opportunity to be able to screen with some other filmmakers. So it's not the kind of thing I think you would do and regret. And the truth is, for me, it is kind of a bigger piece. So I'm not making a short film in isolation. This is part of a series of 3 shorts that are going to be packaged as an anthology later on this year, because I like to make the physical films. I like the Blu-rays. I like to have, you know, opportunities for people to connect with the work in a physical way, because, you know, you go stream something on Tubi or even YouTube, it's ephemeral. Like, having something that can ground you in it is going to make something more memorable, and it connects you to the filmmakers. So I am going to be putting that together at the end of the year on a Blu-ray, but if you want to support me now, I have Blu-rays of my feature film, Bad Animal, available on my site. You can sign up for the newsletter, and I also have 10 free film looks that I give away. You can sign up for those in the description as well. And of course, if you enjoyed this video or you found it interesting, please stick around and subscribe.